Good morning. This is the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. My name is Dave Burney.
I'm Brent Apperson. Good morning.
7:31. Last I looked, it was 50 degrees outside. Mostly cloudy. Pretty nice morning.
Yeah, man, the weather forecast just makes it look like it'll be a beautiful week. Mid-70s and sunshine, right?
All the way through, I think.
Man, that's wonderful.
The only downside, all the rain they were talking about keeps going away. They tease us with a little chance of rain and hardly any chance all the rest of this week, I don't think so. All right, it's Tuesday, and we have a great show lined up for you. All of our regular guests are coming in, and we'll also be back talking with Jenny at Malham Hospital today. Kyle was in yesterday and talking about some other things, so that'll be good. Big Iron Auction Company, Mark Stock, Aeroseed, Team Physical Therapy, all on our guest list today. I did want to just apologize to you. I know that you were watching football last night, but the Philadelphia Phillies clinched their championship of their division last night.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that. I also know the team they were playing that they defeated to clinch the or clinch whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Because
they beat the Cubs, by the way, if you're wondering.
The Cubs are far enough out, they must have given up.
We are eliminated.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
but I give the Cubs credit. We weren't eliminated until just fairly recently.
Yeah. Agreed. They still were in the hunt.
Yeah, we kind of got ourselves back in the hunt late August, early September. But yeah, we are officially eliminated now.
So, is that the reason they started a pitcher last night who's only pitched 2.5 innings all year?
I think so, yes. It's about building for the future now, Dave.
This guy came out and he was going to take his chance. He was going to take advantage of his one chance here. So he threw 100 miles an hour several times, and he ended up walking a couple, if not at least one. But he got out of the inning, and he didn't let him score. And then they brought another gentleman in who had come up from the minors not long ago, and they knocked it out of the park a few times on him.
Yeah.
Even though you're out, I guess, you have those expensive pitchers, sitting in the dugout. I'd go ahead and pitch them personally.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I don't know. It's always interesting once you get to that point where you are eliminated.
Yeah.
Then it's kind of interesting managerial choices that you have to make, especially I think with what you said, the pitching aspect of it.
Yeah.
Do you bring up some kids? Do you try some new guys to just kind of see what they have so that you can kind of get a feel for what the future might look like with them? I don't know. I didn't watch the game last night, so I guess I can't comment too heavily, but I'm going to guess that, obviously, if the Cubs were still in the playoff hunt, they probably would have handled things a little bit differently last night from a pitching standpoint. But,
a lot differently.
Yeah.
But I guess it gives those guys a chance, but I think that the first guy, they said he pitched 2.5 innings this year.
Really? Yeah.
A handful of pitches that he'd thrown all year.
Yeah.
He can throw 100 miles an hour. He just doesn't know where it's going.
Well, and that can be a problem sometimes.
Especially if you're the batter. And
yes.
he hit the umpire in the shin.
Oh, he did?
It ricocheted off the ground. I suppose it wasn't going 100 miles an hour when it hit the umpire. But, yes, he had to take a little break for a moment.
Yikes.
And yeah.
Well, I'm sure you were happy and excited since you announced earlier in the season that you're hopping on the Philadelphia bandwagon since the Phillies have become, although I will say this, Where in the world did your Detroit Tigers come from?
Oh, I love them. I love them. They're feisty.
Man.
They're coming on.
They're right in the hunt.
Yeah, they're right there. They're right on the brink. And I watched the Phillies play the Mets the other night, and I was kind of pulling for the Mets.
Really?
Yeah, because they're right on the brink, too. And I've always kind of liked the Mets.
Yeah.
And Phillies.
I've never liked the Mets.
Oh.
Sorry, Mr. Schaaf. Love Ed. Our good friend Ed Schaaf. He's a big Mets fan.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I've never really gotten into the Mets.
Yeah. Well, you had to be around in '69.
Yeah.
And then you'd be more of a Mets follower, probably, because they came out of dirt, nowhere, and surprised everybody. The miraculous Mets, miracle Mets. Did get an interesting envelope in the mail yesterday from a gentleman who listens to radio stations as a hobby. And you don't see this as often as you used to. But this gentleman is an avid listener and hobbyist who enjoys tuning in to distant radio stations. Recently had the surprise of hearing KBBN 95.3 on the FM band. Hearing a Nebraska station on my FM radio was a real surprise, and I thought I'd share it with you, as you likely don't hear from many FM listeners in Canada. And he enclosed a report of the reception along with a photo of the RDS display showing our code. And he says, if my report is correct, I would be grateful if you'd drop me a note confirming that you are KBBN out of Broken Bow, Nebraska, which we will do. And he is out of Dunmore, Alberta, Canada. And he also describes the community he lives in just east of Medicine Hat in southeastern Alberta. And he said the economy is largely based on the natural gas resources of the area, but ranching and irrigation farming is also important. And he said it can range in temperature from 40 degrees Fahrenheit below zero in the winter and up to a range of over 100 degrees in the summer. So a little bit like Nebraska, although we don't often see 40 below.
No, thank goodness.
Thank goodness, yeah. But very nice letter here from Alberta, Canada, Dunmore, Alberta, Canada, who was listening and heard KBBN on his radio that he uses for his hobby. So we'll send him a letter back, and kind of neat. I know with the internet now, people can listen to KBBN or KCNI or almost any radio station anywhere in the world at any time, but it's still pretty neat to have your signal float that far off your conventional tower. So that's kind of neat. We've gotten some pretty neat letters over the years of hobbyists who do that from all over. Yeah, so pretty neat. All right, let's take a look at the school lunch menus. I'll grab mine here. We have a lot of things to talk about today, too. A lot of things going on this week, to say the least. So we'll be covering that on the show today as well. Let's begin with the Prairie Pioneer Center menu today. They are serving chicken spaghetti, beets, and fruit. And the number to call to let them know you're coming if you're not a regular customer is 872-6121. Also use that same number to set up delivery to your home from the center.
Arcadia Schools today showing super nachos on the lunch menu today at Arcadia.
Arnold, they're having tacos today.
Let's see, Anselmo Myrna today, made fresh chicken and noodles with dinner roll, baked pork fritter with dinner roll. Some of the choices today at Anselmo Myrna.
Pulled pork today at Thedford, along with fruit, vegetables, and milk.
Cozad Super Nachos today, quesadillas in the Sub Hub at Cozad.
Ansley featuring Sloppy Joe's, fruit, vegetables, and milk.
Broken Bow today, made fresh chicken and noodles with dinner roll, baked pork fritter with dinner roll, fresh baked Italian turkey sub, roasted ham and cheddar deli wrap, pizza snackable, and then, my goodness, what a menu. Cheeseburger, crispy chicken sandwich, spicy chicken sandwich, grilled chicken sandwich, hot dog, pizza station. Man, that's where I'm going, I think, for lunch today. Broken Bow Middle and High School.
Sounds delicious. Sandhills Dunning today, also a great meal with chicken soft-shell tacos, refried beans, fruit, vegetables, and milk.
Gothenburg today, soft-shell beef tacos, chicken parmesan sandwich, made fresh Hawaiian pizza, fresh baked ham and cheese sub, and pizza snackable on the menu today at Gothenburg.
A great idea at Callaway, breakfast for lunch.
And at Sargent today, got beef and noodles there with mashed potatoes, fruit cup, apple crisp, and dinner roll at Sargent today.
Litchfield, featuring churros and ham scallop potatoes today at Litchfield. And that's the menus that we have in front of us to pass along to you today. Well, let's play the game, Brent.
All right, here we go. A new batch of questions, and it seems fitting that this batch of questions kind of centers around KCNI Radio celebrating its 75th anniversary. September 28th is the actual date to mark the 75th anniversary of when KCNI Radio went on the air. So we're going to test your knowledge of that year and the radio station a little bit. So here's your first question. Who was president in 1949 when KCNI went on the air? Who was the president? Your choices are Harry Truman, John Kennedy, Franklin Roosevelt, or Dwight Eisenhower. Who was U.S. president in 1949 when KCNI went on the air? Was it Harry Truman, John F. Kennedy, Franklin Roosevelt, or Dwight Eisenhower? If you know the answer, call us at 872-2801.
It is Tumbleweed Day.
Your mornings sound better.
If you're driving in the car on the way to work, it just makes your day more enjoyable just listening to them.
The Breakfast Show on KCNI KBBN.
Go and enjoy delicious home-style food and dine at the Tumbleweed Cafe from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day. Or if you're on the go, swing through the drive-thru. In the morning, grab hot and fresh breakfast items. Need a dinner for the family at home, but don't have the time to make it yourself? Breakfast casseroles, Reuben casseroles, chicken pot pies, lasagna, enchiladas, fresh bread, and more are ready to go home with you to pop in the oven from the Tumbleweed Cafe in Broken Bow.
We have Catherine on the line. Catherine, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm hanging in there.
Well, we hope so. How's the chickens doing?
They're doing pretty good. I've cut down a lot.
Have you?
Going to smaller size, yeah. Less feed.
Well, yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, maybe we can feed you. Here's Brent.
Okay.
All right, Catherine, who was the president in 1949 when KCNI Radio went on the air for the first time? Was it Harry Truman, John Kennedy, Franklin Roosevelt, or Dwight Eisenhower?
Truman.
Yes, it was President Truman. You got it. And because you've answered correctly, we have a certificate that's going to get you, this one's going to get you a free breakfast item from the Tumbleweed Cafe that you can pick up Monday through Friday, 6 to 11 a.m. So just come on out and see us, and we'll have your certificate ready for you.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Catherine. Have a great day.
I'll try to. Thank you.
You bet. 7:44 is your time. We do have some things we want to tell you about, so I think I'll jump in here just for a moment. The Exarban Stock Show is taking place this Thursday through Sunday at Farner Park in Grand Island, and it is open to the public at no charge. They'll also have competitions for youth exhibitors for beef, sheep, goat, and swine. There's also a national livestock judging contest with 14 participating states involved. Free admission, there's something for everyone. They'll have food and shopping. Over 50 vendors will be on the grounds, and they'll have a Friday livestock quiz bowl, college fair on Saturday, demos and clinics, and of course, plenty of opportunities to support the youth. So visit exarbanstockshow.com to check out the full schedule and make sure that you make your way to this amazing weekend of free fun and education at Farner Park in Grand Island. That's this Thursday through Sunday.
Here's a job opportunity that is available. Central Nebraska Community Action Partnership is looking for an individual who enjoys helping people, knows community resources, and wants to help people attain goals. This is in the Loop City area. The starting wage for this position is $16.50 to $18.25 per hour, depending on qualifications. Comes with a great benefit package. Now, if you're interested, they're looking for someone who has education and or experience in the field, the desire to help people attain goals, computer skills, and knowledge of available resources. The individual would work helping people to secure permanent housing, budget money, set goals, overcome crisis situations, and find the right resources. So if you're interested, contact CNCAP Human Resource Department at this number, 308-745-0780. The extension is 105. Again, that's 308-745-0780, extension 105. This position will remain open until filled.
Ollie's Coffee House and Boutique in Broken Bow are in the junk jaunt mood, and they are ready for all the traffic coming through. Visit them Thursday through Saturday. They're going to have sidewalk sales and other local vendors outside of the store for junk jaunt. And you'll receive a free drink with a $60 purchase during junk jaunt this Thursday through Saturday at Ollie's Coffee House and Boutique. Discover the deliciousness of Ollie's cold or hot coffee, smoothies, or other delicious drinks or snacks. They're open for junk jaunt and open regular hours Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6, Saturdays 8 until 5. Ollie's Coffee and Boutique in Broken Bow.
Do you have a rock chip in your windshield?
Yes.
Yes.
Who
yes.
doesn't? Who
yeah,
doesn't?
right. Maybe that's a better question. Who doesn't have a rock chip in your windshield? Well, if so, make sure you stop it from spreading and avoid a costly replacement while restoring your windshield's original strength. Call Mark with Dickerson Chip Repair. He's based out of Sargent and is a mobile windshield repair service. Whether it's at work, in the field, or on the go, he comes to you. Currently, he does not take insurance claims, but you could be eligible for reimbursement by your insurance. He uses the latest tools and the industry's strongest resin that is guaranteed not to crack, cloud, or yellow over time. So call or text Mark with Dickerson Chip Repair. And here's the number. It is 614-403-8087. Let me give it to you again. 614-403-8087. You can also find him on Facebook. So check it out. Mark with Dickerson Chip Repair.
Sun Valley Landscaping in Ansley has beautiful hardy mums ready for fall, as well as ornamental kale, peppers, trees, and shrubs. The mums are grown from start to finish in the greenhouse at Ansley, Nebraska, and they have lots of amazing colors. For junk jaunt, they'll be along Highway 2 by the old hotel south of their greenhouse. And they're open at their location now, so stop by and get your best selection before they're all gone. Hours for the junk jaunt location will be Thursday through Saturday, 9 to 6, and Sunday, 9 to about mid-afternoon around 3 o'clock. Sun Valley Landscaping in Ansley, again, beautiful hardy mums ready for fall, as well as ornamental kale, peppers, trees, and shrubs, available now at Sun Valley Landscaping, Ansley, America.
Hey, check out Lily Kate Boutique on the north side of the square in Broken Bow. They're excited for all their new fall arrivals. The store is loaded with new sweaters, vests, jackets, jeans, and boots for fall. Also, they're stocked up on Brumate. Oh, man, I hope I say this. On Brumate era cups as well. I'm going to have to get clarification on how to say that. They are a 100% leak-proof straw tumbler. That's the key. They're dishwasher safe and keeps drinks cold 24-plus hours. They are also a Junk Jaunt remote sponsor, so come on out to the Custer County Fairgrounds. Be watching for members of the KCNI KBBN staff on Friday who will be there handing out some valuable coupons for Lily Kate on the flyer. Lily Kate Boutique in Broken Bow is open Monday through Friday 10 to 6, open on Saturday from 10 until 4.
All right, Brent, while we have a moment here, you've got your sports shirt on. I assume that means you're going to be covering some sports. If not today, many of the next few days, but jump in and tell us about it.
Yeah, it's going to be another busy week for us. Tonight we're headed over to Callaway, going to bring you high school volleyball. Going to do the South Loop Triangular with South Loop, Elm Creek, and Anselmo Myrna. And so we'll have all 3 varsity matches on the air for you tonight. We'll broadcast them on KBBN 95.3 FM, KBBN.com. Also going to do the live video stream as well, so you can watch it accompanied by the radio call through the Sandhills Express Facebook page or YouTube channel. That'll be tonight, opening match at 5. And then on Thursday, we'll have more volleyball. Going to travel to Centura to cover Broken Bow at the Centura Triangular. They'll be playing Centennial and then Centura. They'll play in the last 2 matches of the Triangular. So we'll plan to be on the air somewhere around 6 o'clock or so. Kind of depends on how long the first match goes. But we'll have Broken Bow volleyball for you on Thursday. Matches on KBBN 95.3 FM, KBBN.com. And we'll also plan to do a live video stream as well of the Broken Bow matches on Thursday when we're in Centura. And then on Friday, we've got a football doubleheader for you on our radio stations on KBBN FM. Going to feature the Ansley Litchfield Spartans coming off their first win of the year last week. They'll be hosting Shelton for homecoming in Litchfield, and we'll be there to cover the game for you. That'll be on KBBN 95.3 FM and KBBN.com. Kickoff at 7, pregame coverage with the consolidated pregame show will be at 6 on KBBN. And then on KCNI radio on Friday, we'll be at home as Broken Bow, after being on the road for 2 weeks, comes back home to play at Mark Russell Field. First district game of the year. Top 10 Cozad comes to town. Should be a great one. And we'll have that for you. Broken Bow football against Cozad on Friday evening on KCNI radio. Coverage starts with the Custer Federal State Bank pregame show at 6. Kickoff will be at 7.
All right, very good. We'll be right back with Logan from Arrow Seed.
Aero Aviation is happy to have served the area since 1971, and they look forward to serving you for years to come. Their aircraft is equipped with the latest in GPS guidance and flow control technology, and they're always searching for the next big thing in aviation. Contact Casey and Melissa Williams at 872-5113 and talk to them about your fall pasture spraying. That's Aero Aviation, proud to serve Custer County and surrounding areas.
Headaches, ear-ringing, neck pain, dizziness, brain fog. Is your jaw pain to blame? Pearson Physical Therapy wants to be your partner in finding out. Tension and dysfunction in the jaw and surrounding muscles can lead to a number of symptoms that disrupt your daily life. It can be hard to know who to seek out for help. We invite you to come see us at Pearson Physical Therapy to learn how your jaw dysfunction can be managed so that you can get back to not having to deal with daily aggravation. Call us at 872-5800 or stop by on West Highway 2, Broken Bow.
Your time to help is right now. The 12th annual Team Jack Radiothon is this Thursday. It's one big day with the entire state coming together in the fight against pediatric brain cancer, with stories about Nebraska kids, celebrity guests, great prizes, and a critical mission. Team Jack is working to fund the cure, and you can be a part. Go to teamjackfoundation.org to make a donation today, and listen Thursday for Team Jack Day in Nebraska.
Listen locally on KCNI Radio from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Thursday.
The Get Up and Go Breakfast Show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did we wake you up?
Nebraska's favorite way to start the day on KCNI KBBN.
Logan Girardin is here. Logan, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. We're just talking off the air about all the wonderful weather we've had and weather ahead. Gives folks a chance to do what they need to do out there in the fields. What's going on right now?
A little bit of everything. Birds are starting to migrate, which I don't know if you guys know what a tern is.
A tern, yes.
So I was actually watching the National Geographic or Discovery the other night, and they had a group of researchers that were actually doing some questionable research on these little birds.
Questionable research on terns?
Yeah. They were, with marijuana.
Oh. Okay, go ahead.
And anyway, the gist of it is they left no tern unstoned.
All right, thank you, Logan. Brent, you want to take over?
No. Oh, man, Logan, great to see you, my man. I got to tell you, I love it when you come in. So let's see, what are the main things happening at Arrow Seed? I mean, I'm sure it's extremely busy. But...
It is. This cool fall weather makes the guy think that cattle are going to start being moved, crops are going to start coming out. But when the cattle get moved, you got to have something to contain them.
Yes, you do.
And it just so happens Jason's running a fencing sale.
Hey, nice.
Right now, so you can save some moolah to keep those cattle in.
Yeah.
So we've got I think there's 2 or 3 fencers on sale right now. There's turbo wire, turbo braid, high tensile wire. I mean the whole kit and caboodle. I think 10% off some other accessories and things like that too. So yeah,
we've
good time of year.
We've talked in the past about how technology has changed so many things, even in the fencing business, right? I mean, with all the solar stuff and everything, even fencing has changed over the years, hasn't it?
It has. So one of the coolest things that's happening now in the fencing world, or the solar fencing world, is the change to lithium batteries. So lithium batteries last forever, and if you can put those in a solar fencer, they're going to last that much longer, and that's exactly what Gallagher started doing. So they're more bang for your buck, more efficient, more capacity, just all around better.
Yeah. And with the way you've been working with fencing and everything, you've kind of learned how to do a little maintenance on things too, right? So if, I think if people have something they want you to look at or something, you have a little knowledge there, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Some people are shocked when they learn that I can work on fencers.
I got that.
So, but Jason works on them, and he does really good.
Now Jason was in here last week, and I think he did get shocked a little bit by learning how to work on the fencing aspect of things.
It's a learning experience.
His eyes kind of lit up when he told us about it. It was still kind of affecting him, I think.
Yeah, if anybody's having some heart issues when they come in, we just took a solar fencer up to them and crank it up.
There you go.
Get them back going again.
Yeah. So the fencing stuff is going hot and heavy. You mentioned lithium batteries and long-lasting batteries. That takes my mind to flashlights, because you've got plenty of those on hand. I think you've gotten some kind of new ones in.
We have.
I'm not mistaken.
Yep. So we just got the Slide 3000, or the super bright, don't shine it through a magnifying glass or you'll melt the world type of brightness.
Yeah.
But they've got the magnetic base. They're a work light flashlight combo, so you slide them apart, and it's got the work light, so you can go hands free on most things. The cool thing is they've got a red LED in them, so you've got the super bright, but then you've got the red LED that flashes, so it's a good, like a safety flasher. So you can put that on the trunk of a car or on a road sign or whatever, and let people know that slow down because something's not right up ahead.
Something broke. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I know a few years ago I got it was a different model, but one of your popular ones I got for my twin daughters, so that they could have a flashlight in the car that does all of those things that you're talking about. And, it used to be a flashlight. If you dropped it, you're done, right? And, man, these things are they're not like that. They're made to last a little bit.
Yeah, so they're LEDs, so they're impact resistant. They're made of aircraft-grade aluminum. So if it can fly in the sky, you can make it into a flashlight, I guess. But they're very, very rugged and durable and bright, like really bright.
Yeah.
And rechargeable.
So a good selection on hand.
We do.
Okay.
Yep. The other thing we've got kind of along those lines is a jump pack, or like a jump starter pack. I think it's a jump starter pack and a portable air compressor and something else too. Made by Nebo, who makes the flashlights. So that'd be a good, gearing up fall, winter time, have it in the car, because there's nothing worse than needing something and not having it.
Well, when you're out, let's just say checking cattle or something, sometimes you're out by yourself, and if all you leave the lights on or something and you forget about it, you're like, oh no, the battery's dead. It's nice to have one of those packs that you're talking about to get you going again without having to try to call somebody and get them out there and get it jumped, and yeah.
Yep, exactly. That's the worst feeling in the world, is when you go to start a vehicle and nothing.
Yes. Yeah,
it's
just not a good feeling.
No, I had that happen last week, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Must have left the key on just enough and go out to start it and didn't start. What are those retail for? Do you remember?
Off the top of my head, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think that'd be nice to have one in every car.
It would be.
Yeah.
It absolutely would
sure.
be.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe in the future flashlights will be able to jumpstart a car.
Yeah.
The way technology's going,
It's probably not that far away.
You can use them as a power bank to charge a phone. Why not use them as a power bank to charge a battery in a car?
It'd be so nice. And get out the jumpers, and one end is broke off the jumper cable, and these newer cars are kind of hard to get a jumper cable on.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room to work.
No, and they got these little pegs. The battery could be underneath the seat somewhere.
Yep.
Wow. Now that's sounding better all the time.
It is. I remember back in the day, one of my buddies had a car that you had to take the rear tire off to get to the battery.
Oh gosh.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was a Saturn or something like that. But to physically remove the battery, you had to take the rear tire off to get to the battery compartment.
Wow.
And then you go, what engineer thought of that?
Who thought this was a good idea?
Yeah.
Well, that pack that you're talking about, I like the idea of the air compressor. You said air compressor too?
I'm pretty sure it has the little air compressor.
Yeah. Boy, those would come in handy too if a tire starts to go a little low.
Yeah, get you the repair.
Yeah, exactly. Could get you where you need to go at least.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know it's early, but that sounds like a great Christmas gift.
Yeah, it does.
It really would be. It
And
absolutely
also
would be.
just to have in whatever a stable of cars are, trucks or whatever, to have those in those. So you might want to stock up on those.
I think we've got a few of them.
Okay, good.
I think yesterday was National Hunting and Fishing Day.
It was,
if I'm not mistaken. And if you're hunting and you're fishing, then you're loving every day.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But you're ready to go. You got trail cameras. You got, if people want to do their own processing of their game and stuff, you got all of that. You're ready to go.
Yep, and we did just put in an order for kind of gearing up, restocking, getting some new stuff in. But like dehydrators, for instance, you don't have to hunt or fish. You can just have a garden.
Mm-hmm.
And dehydrators are fantastic. We're going to get a few dehydrators in.
All right.
Good.
Anywhere from small, like the little 5 tray, to I think a 10 tray stainless steel, more commercial size, do it right type of dehydrator.
All right.
So, you ever had dehydrated cucumber? Cucumber chips?
No, I have not. No.
So hear me out.
Okay.
You know how they do sea salt and vinegar potato chips?
Yes, sure. I love salt and vinegar potato chips.
Why would you not do that with like dehydrated cucumber chips?
I love the idea.
Wouldn't that be? Maybe I'm just thinking out loud here, but
I'd be more than happy to try it.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Dave, you can try some too.
Well, we're about out of time. Thanks, Logan.
Yeah. So come on in and see us, and browse around our array of products that we offer.
There you go.
And shop our fencing sale too.
Okay. Thanks, Logan.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Arrow Seed and Broken Bow open 5.5 days a week in downtown Broken Bow, Nebraska. News is next.
You are listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Go, go, go! On KCNI, KBBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
CBS News Brief. American officials are talking with Israeli officials, trying to keep hostilities with Hezbollah from spreading. CBS's Chris Livesay is in Tel Aviv.
The Pentagon says Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has been pressing Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for a diplomatic solution to the fighting. The U.S. State Department is warning all Americans to leave Lebanon while commercial flights are still available.
President Biden will have a lot to talk about when he makes his final address to the UN General Assembly this morning, says White House spokesman John Kirby.
Mobilizing resources for developing countries, managing the risks and benefits of artificial intelligence, and helping end the brutal wars in Gaza, Ukraine, and Sudan.
A powerful storm is about 2.5 days away from a possible landfall in Florida's Big Bend. CBS News meteorologist David Parkinson.
The storm is expected to pack a punch, at least a Category 2 or 3 storm, potentially up to a Category 4.
CBS News Brief. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Before you tour a home, the real estate professional you're working with may ask you to sign a buyer's agreement, which describes the services you'll receive, each party's role and responsibilities, and how your agent will be compensated, all of which you'll want to discuss with them up front. So work with an agent who's a Realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors with a duty to honestly represent you and put your interests above their own, because that's who we are.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
In Nebraska news, in a story released by KOLN, Lincoln police were called to a crash near North 20th and Superior Streets around 7 p.m. on Monday. According to LPD, there was a crash between a vehicle and a bicyclist. The bicyclist was taken to the local hospital where they are currently stable. This is an ongoing incident. In other Nebraska news, in a story released by KOLN, a woman and her 3 children were injured in a rollover crash in northeast Nebraska on Friday. A 27-year-old Madison woman was traveling northbound on 564th Avenue, about 2.5 miles northwest of Lee, Nebraska, when she lost control on the gravel road. The woman's van rolled into a ditch and landed on its back wheels. The Stanton County Sheriff's Office responded to the accident just after 10:10 a.m. The woman and her 3 children were removed from the wreckage and transported to the Faith Regional Health Services in Norfolk with non-life-threatening injuries, the Sheriff's Office said. Seatbelts and child safety seats were in use at the time of the crash and are credited with lessening any injuries. The van is considered a total loss. This has been a Nebraska News Update. I'm Jack Simpson reporting for Central Nebraska's news source.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Martin Weiss.
The Cincinnati Bengals now 0-3 after they lose to the Commanders 38-33. Joe Burrow had 3 touchdown passes, but the star of the show, Jaden Daniels, 3 total touchdowns, 21 of 23 passing. The Commanders have now scored on 14 consecutive drives. The Bills are now 3-0 after they beat the Jaguars. They led 34-3 at the half. 47-10 was the final score. Josh Allen had 4 touchdown passes. He added 6 carries for 44 yards. It's been a disaster in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence finished 21 for 38 with 178 yards, a touchdown, and an interception by Damar Hamlin. But they've lost 8 straight starts with Trevor Lawrence as the guy at the helm in Jacksonville. In Major League Baseball, the Phillies clinched the NL East. They beat the Cubs 6-2 today. First time since 2011 that the Phillies have clinched the NL East. Houston could have clinched the AL Central, but it lost to Seattle 6-1, and the Diamondbacks in that NL wildcard race lost to the Giants 6-3.
Here's your weatherology forecast. Daytime highs approaching 74. Today, under mainly clear skies, northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies. Tonight, lows dip down to about 46. Sunshine expected. Tomorrow, high temperatures reach up to 80. Clouds on the increase Thursday into Friday. Low 80s. Thursday, upper 70s by Friday. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki.
As the calves are being weaned, that means it's time to start fixing up those corrals to bring the cows home. Moline Seed and Fence has posts, pipe, continuous fencing, gates, and all your watering needs in stock and ready to go. As you start planning your fall fencing projects, remember to call your Central Nebraska headquarters for all your fencing supplies. That's Moline Seed and Fence in Gothenburg, 308-529-0781, or online at molineseedandfence.com.
Your time to help is right now. The 12th annual Team Jack Radiothon is this Thursday. It's one big day with the entire state coming together in the fight against pediatric brain cancer, with stories about Nebraska kids, celebrity guests, great prizes, and a critical mission. Team Jack is working to fund the cure, and you can be a part. Go to teamjackfoundation.org to make a donation today, and listen Thursday for Team Jack Day in Nebraska.
Listen locally on KCNI Radio from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Thursday.
Currently 48. We'll call it partly sunny. Winds light so far today. Barometric pressure rising at 29.95. Humidity at 91%. High yesterday, just about perfect, 77 with an overnight low of 50. Sunset today at 7:33. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:29. Again, 48 and partly sunny. I'll turn it over to Brett Apperson.
All right, we've got our friend Jeff Denson in the studio with us this morning, Team Physical Therapy. How are you, my friend?
Good morning. Doing well.
Before we start talking Team Physical Therapy, how do your Chiefs do it? You're a big Kansas City Chiefs fan. What in the world? This is like doing it through smoke and mirrors, man.
Well, there's a lot of people.
How in the world are you 3-0?
I think that obviously Andy Reid must treat the umpires a little better, because that's what I hear. The reason why is that basically they're getting the refs to hand them games.
Well, I have to admit,
That's been speculated.
The Kansas City Atlanta game, I don't know how that one play was not called pass interference. I'm sorry, my friend.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder.
Well, if you're nice to people, good things happen to you.
There you go. Yes. Well said. Well, all right. Let's talk Team Physical Therapy. How are things going? I'm sure you're busy. A lot of things going on. My goodness, we're midway through September. Well, we're over midway through September. We're about done with September, for crying out loud.
Yeah, through 4 football games and all the fall sports going strong. So, but it's been going well. We've been not had bad injuries. That it's doing very well. So.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about. I know that obviously you deal closely with Broken Bow schools, but a lot of our area schools, and of course when with your clinics around the area, not just in Broken Bow, you obviously see a lot of kids. You work with a lot of area schools. So what you've seen so far during the fall season compared to past years, Jeff, I mean,
I would say it's not been as bad.
That's good.
We've had
that's
a couple big injuries, but overall, total numbers aren't as bad.
Yeah,
and I think this season probably we've had a number of junior high concussions, but really haven't seen a lot of other bad concussion stuff. So that's been good too. So going well with that.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you've been seeing and working with there at Team?
So one thing, before I came out here, Rachel told me it is National Fall Prevention Week. And I didn't know that. But we do want to promote that as much as possible before we get into the wintertime. If you're having troubles getting around or just troubles with balance and not transitioning to walking like you want to, it's a good time to go get screened and take a look at that. And we do a Berg Balance assessment, which will tell you if you need a assistive device or not, and can kind of target exercises that you should be doing to help your balance. So I think I put you through a balance test one day.
I think it was me.
Yeah.
And I think I passed.
Yeah, you passed.
I was nervous.
Yeah.
But there's no reason to be nervous about it, though.
No.
I mean,
no,
you know,
it's a very simple
process
of just assessing strength and putting them through a 56-point scaled test that will tell us exactly where you're at. So it's very effective, and it's just something that everybody, I mean, once you're over 50, really you're going to start losing your balance, and you have to either work on it or it will get worse. So, I mean, it's just natural process of aging, and it can improve if you concentrate on trying to make it better. So,
if you don't mind me asking, can you talk about maybe a couple of the exercises that that you maybe take people through to help in their balance?
Yeah, so we first assess strength. Like if you're having troubles going up and down stairs, and that's the reason, and you aren't strong enough to stand on one leg, that sort of thing. But most of it is working on single leg balance. We'll do tandem stance, where you put one foot in front of the other. It doesn't have to be right in front of the other, and stand in that position and just alternate. And then we'll go eyes closed with that, and then add different reaching exercises and things from those positions. A lot of the reason, if you just stand on one foot and you can't stand for 10 seconds, you're at a risk for falls because you can't stand for... and so working on those exercises, basically, whatever you see a deficit in, that's something you just concentrate and work on. And so we'll do like 30-second holds in certain positions, just trying to make your ankles kind of correct your balance, or your hips, or overall, and then just take the eyes out of it if you close your eyes, and it'll make it more difficult. And that's just like if you're standing and you just shut your eyes and you start swaying all over the place, that's something you better be working on. Yeah. So, and you, like people getting around in the morning in the shower, if you close your eyes and you're bouncing all off of the walls, then that's something you need to be working on. So,
well, I know we've talked about this a lot in the past, but a lot of physical therapy now is just about getting yourself to where you can prevent things from happening, as opposed to recovering from things that are happening.
Yeah, just the cost of hip fractures and falling and breaking something is, it's just devastating. First of all, to the individual, and then just the cost to the healthcare system is devastating too. It's just, and it's a huge risk for, obviously, not getting better. Not surviving that. So it's something that needs to be worked on. So, and prevention for fall risk is very important.
Yeah. Well, man, we are kind of coming toward the end of the year now, and it seems like every time we talk to you about people who maybe are scheduling a knee replacement or a hip replacement. As we get further into the year, deductibles are starting to be met and things like that. Are you kind of seeing some of that a little bit now?
Yeah, we've had a number of people scheduling surgeries for October-ish time frame. So, and get it all done before the end of the year. Yeah. So, and also, I just wanted to mention, you guys are really promoting harvest safety and farm safety, and I think that's just really important to, first of all, for driving, but secondly, just guys that are in the field or in the tractor for 20 plus hours. Just make sure you're taking breaks and before you get out and try to lift something or work on a piece of equipment, make sure you warm up a little bit. We see a lot of shoulders for guys that just bounce out of a tractor and start cranking to max strength on their shoulders, and that doesn't work out in the end very well. You generally tear something. Yeah. So make sure you just take your time. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything else, Jeff, that you wanted to talk about or mention?
Cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Walk-ins, you guys are open to that, so just give the office
give us
a call.
time. It might not be immediate, but
sure,
we'll get it solved.
All right. And let's see, we've got Burwell, Callaway, Bow, Gothenburg.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. Get better.
Oh, I will.
Attaboy.
We'll take a quick time out.
Take a listen to the list of projects that MC Fencing can help you with. Fencing, including builds, removals, and repairs, plus cedar tree cutting, including those hard-to-get spots like side hills. MC Fencing uses professional-grade equipment, which means you receive the most efficient and cleanest job possible. The journey toward their fair and competitive pricing begins with a free estimate. Openings are available now, so call Martin Castro at 308-870-6227. MC Fencing, serving Custer County and the surrounding area.
Wherever you find WorkSmart, you'll find producers saving money. WorkSmart is the innovative line of credit from Farm Credit Services of America. Along with its competitive interest rates and farmer-friendly terms, WorkSmart delivers interest savings, cashback dividends, and cash rewards, too. Add them all up and the savings can be significant. Terms apply. Visit fcsamerica.com and see how much you can save. Or call 800-884-FARM. Agriculture works here.
KBBN is proud to partner with Adams Land and Cattle again this year to support local backpack programs and food pantries during the Food for Youth Challenge. Through the 25th, bring food donations to our studios on West Highway 2 in Broken Bow. Accepted items include canned items like ravioli, soup, vegetables, and fruit. Boxed foods like macaroni, pasta, cereal, hamburger helper, Jell-O, or fruit snacks, or even peanut butter. If you want to make a monetary donation, you can do that too. Make checks out to the Custer County Foundation and specify Food for Youth. Last year, over 6,700 snacks and meals and over $6,000 in gift cards and donations were raised. Together, we can surpass those amazing numbers in 2024. So bring those donations to the KBBN studios soon, and together, we can make a difference.
Lashley Land and Recreational Brokers is proud to be servicing the Custer County area, and currently land is moving at a high rate of speed. So if you are considering selling your land, now is the time, or get an opinion of what your land might be worth. Call me, John Farley, at 308-530-7854, or check me out at lashleyland.com.
The morning Sandhills Drive never sounded so good.
In the mornings, we don't have to fight over the radio because it's one station.
You're listening to The Breakfast Show.
8:22, another great day with great guests. We'll continue, and I'll turn it back over to Brent Apperson to talk to our next guest in the studio from Jenny M. Melham.
Yeah, Jenny M. Melham Memorial Medical Center, our guest now. Kyle Kellum is here. Wow, man, it seems like I just saw you. So Kyle is here for the second day in a row, and so my first question to Kyle is, are you living life right, being here 2 days in a row, or are you being punished for something?
Well, I love it so much I couldn't help but come back, and I was wondering if, maybe this is like a part-time gig.
Oh, that'd be great.
Hey, absolutely.
Right?
We'd be more than happy to welcome you as a host.
We would, you could come anytime.
Well, it's great to see you. Always appreciate you guys stopping in and keeping us informed as to what's happening with Jenny M. Melham Memorial Medical Center. Where do you want to start? You brought a guest with you. You want to start by introducing who you brought with you?
Yeah, so this is Sheena Johnson. Sheena is in charge of our lab there at the hospital and is extremely knowledgeable about all things lab and patient care. And so, as the year goes on and different guests come, I just keep saying, I'm bringing the guns. And so I brought Sheena today because she's going to, and even on short notice, so I appreciate Sheena. But I was thinking this morning, I think it's really important for the community to hear about the lab services that we have and the great job that the lab does and everything from the blood draws to going through state surveys. Sheena can talk about all of those things. So let's start there.
All right. Sounds good. Sheena, I'm going to have you pull that microphone up towards you there. Thank you for joining us and for being here today. Where would you like to start as far as talking about the lab and the services that are offered through that?
Well, I guess I can start with just the beginning. We serve outpatients along with the inpatients that are in there. And, of course, the emergency room department. So,
yeah. Well, I just want you to know that when I go in to have my blood drawn, I'm not a fan of that. I'm just going to tell you right now. But,
Nobody is.
But the people that work there in the lab just put, at least for me anyway, they put you at ease, and the next thing you know, you're done.
You're done.
And so that's a compliment.
Well,
you guys have some great people that work in that area, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There's 4 of us in our department. Cassie Henderson, Jesse Barenberg, I believe, and then Anna Fred.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that has amazed me over the years, I remember, you'd go in and get your blood drawn or whatever, and it might be a while until you got the results, Mm-hmm. But when I go in for my yearly checkup now, you take the blood draw and the doctor is talking to you about the results just a few minutes later. And That's wonderful.
Yes.
So
we try to get our results out at least within 30 minutes, as long as testing is done in-house. So,
yeah. How many, I don't know if you can answer this or not, but how many on a daily basis do you run through the lab at the Milham Medical Center?
That's a tricky question.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But on an average,
average, we could see anywhere from we can do as little as 10 outpatients a day, but then if you add on inpatients on top of that and then ERs on top of that, we could see as many as 40 to 50 on a really busy day.
Yeah.
And those are just patients; those aren't tests.
Right? Yeah, those are patients. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Testing, average at least 3 to 4 tests per patient, and I'm also talking panels, not necessarily individual tests. So yeah, we do a lot of testing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the education that is needed for people to work in the lab? What's the process, and kind of take us from start to finish, if you would.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you a little bit of my history, I guess, to start off with. I started my undergrad at Wayne State, initially into pre-med, not knowing I wanted to be in the laboratory medicine. Initially got interested in my junior year, did a huge research laboratory project my junior year into my senior year, wrote the paper on it. My immunology and genetics professor got me interested in research laboratory science. So that's where I went on after that, had a year at the Med Center, got my medical technology license at that point in time. Now, since then, it's changed to medical laboratory scientist credentialing. And then, of course, we can be board certified. It's not a must, but we encourage it highly. Also, North Platte at Mid-Plains Central Community Colleges, they have a laboratory technician certification program that you can go through there, and we get a lot of their students to come to us, and they stay with us a couple weeks. We monitor their progress, teach them the best we can, send them down the road in hopes that they'll come back and be hired by us.
Nice.
Fingers crossed, because our department, our area of expertise is very highly in demand.
Yeah. I'm glad you bring that, because that was actually going to be one of my next questions was as far as students, if you work with some of them or they come and work in the lab, and obviously they do.
They do,
so,
yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. Usually it's about a 6 to 8 week process for those college students that come to us, and they go into each individual specialty of the lab. So it's not just laboratory, there's hematology, there's chemistry, immunology, immunohematology, microbiology, parasitology, virology. I mean, I can go on. There's many subspecialties of the laboratory. So
yeah.
Yes.
Well, Kyle, I'm sure you're happy with the services that are offered through the lab at the Milham Medical Center, because again, the results are so much quicker now when you can have it contained right there at the hospital and be able to get them right away. Yeah,
we're very fortunate, and very fortunate to have Sheena and her team. Just a tremendous amount of expertise there, and we had a meeting. It's been probably a couple weeks now, or maybe longer, I guess now, since Sheena did an education to all of our management team, and it's really quite fascinating to be able to drill down with the microscope, and she explains all the different types of things going on in the blood, and speaking of, Brent.
Yeah.
As I sit across the table from you and I look, did you know that Sheena is the instructor of our phlebotomy class here locally at the college?
Yeah, okay. I thought you looked familiar. Yep. Oh, yes. I know where you might be headed with this. Yes.
Well, I see, it looks like you have some veins there that might be easily accessible.
I believe you already volunteered once, right?
I did volunteer once. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. My our oldest daughter is going through the phlebotomy class, and she was doing, was having people come in and do a blood draw.
Correct.
And I just like to brag and say that I was the only member of the family who was brave enough to volunteer and let her do it. But she did a great job,
She did.
and it looks like you have a great class. When I walked in, I was surprised at how many were in there. But you have a great class for that.
There's 8 students now, and they've all had a successful draw up to this point. So I get to surprise them today. I have class tonight, and I recruited volunteers from the hospital to show up.
Oh, nice.
So they have no idea. A few of them do, I believe, but most of them have no idea.
Yeah.
And so they'll get some new veins to look at and hopefully poke them successfully.
Well, you think, at least me, I'm like, well, how hard is it to, stick somebody, take some blood out? But everybody's different, right?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
some veins are easy to find, and some aren't so easy.
Correct.
Are they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We routinely see in the hospital more likely the veins that are harder to stick than the ones that are easier.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I would just jump in here and tell you the true story. I had this experience with a retired pastor, and I was having back problems. This was not here. This was at another specialty place. And they were training a retired pastor for hospice. And so this was his first attempt at drawing blood from someone. And I was you
were the guinea pig.
I was the person.
Yeah.
And I tried to be, very understanding and patient, and I'm not a real big fan of blood. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I looked down and there's blood running down my arm off the tip of my fingers onto the floor. I'm going, I know this guy's going to do some wonderful things for hospice, but I'm not sure I can go any further with this.
Sheena, I'm guessing you have some stories. Don't you?
We have lots of stories.
Yes, you do.
I'm not sure I need to share them on radio, though. I'll be honest with you.
Sheena,
Some can be gruesome too.
How many people? This is an unfair question, but I'm going to ask it because most of us, I think, when we have blood drawn, we just don't look, and it doesn't. A lot of times you can hardly tell because the people are so good. You can hardly tell that they've put the needle in and the blood's already out, and you look and it's over with.
Yes.
But how many out of 10? How many people like to watch?
Maybe 2.
2 out of 10?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't.
Maybe.
I don't. Kyle?
Yes, I do.
Do you really?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Wow.
If they're in the medical field, they'll watch.
Okay.
But usually, if they're not, no. And we'll even have some individuals in the medical field like, nope, I know what you're doing. Just do what you need to do, and I'll be fine. I'll look away.
Yeah. Well, it takes all the studying you've done, all the talents that you've developed, working with people. I think kids would be a challenge maybe at times if they're gotten a little bit scared about a needle or something.
So a very funny story, when I was in my clinical rotation, I had my clinical rotation back at Mary Landing in Hastings because that's near where I lived, where I was raised. My very first poke was a newborn infant, premature infant, twins, baby girls.
Gosh.
And the phlebotomist I was following at the time, very sweet lady, very nice, but she goes, you watch me on this baby and then you'll poke this baby. I'm like, okay, sure, great. We had cap gases, which is an arterial type of draw from the heel stick of a baby, because that's the only place you can get it from the newborns at that point. I believe they were like 36 weeks along. I watched her do it. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. Went to baby number 2, got my stuff ready, was doing it, and she disappeared.
Oh, no.
And I was like, are you kidding me?
I'm by myself?
All by myself.
Oh, man.
With the physicians, watching me, who I had no idea who they were. And I'm like, please, Lord. I got it, no problem. But it was, that was my very first draw.
One other question I would have, Sheena, is that I've always wondered, when you take one sample of blood, then how many different tests can you do on one sample? I mean, like if somebody comes in and they have some illness, it probably drives, that test one direction to find out something. But
right, if a patient comes to the emergency department, we draw what they call the rainbow. So there are 5 tubes of every color, and we try to draw as all in one. In hopes not to have to poke the patient again a second time. As labs are processing, physicians change their mind and add tests on depending on the results of the initial test that we do. And so we usually try to draw that rainbow just in hopes not having to draw them again. However, it is on rare occasion that if they're suspected to be septic or something like that, then yes, we'll have to go in and redraw again and that's a special procedure to do blood cultures and stuff like that. So
it's amazing, I think, all the information that can be gathered out of that
out of
little
one
tube.
tube. Yes. Yep.
It really is. There was, I mentioned about Sheena, showing us all the stuff that they do. So back in my day, Dave, I actually also used to start IVs. And one of the things that I did was sometimes in radiology, we would take the blood for the lab to run a certain test to make sure we could do the radiology exam. And it's really interesting what you can find out just from drawing the blood, because I got a call, one of the first times I ever did that, I got a call from the lab and said, "Hey, how fast did you draw that blood?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Did you pull back on the tube when you're trying to get the blood out of there?" I said, "Well, yeah." I said, "Well, you can't do that." So
we hemolyzed it.
We hemolyzed it. I hemolyzed it, right? So they can tell just by the way that you're drawing the blood on if they can even run it or not. It's pretty impressive. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. And it's so good that technology with laptops, the information can go from your lab to the doctor while he's in the room with the patient. And,
right.
And as Brett mentioned earlier, you're not waiting, in most cases, very long for the results. I suppose there are some that have to be sent away yet.
Correct, yes. Yeah. We still use Pathology Services out of North Platte as our reference laboratory, and we do still send a lot of stuff out to them, mainly microbiology stuff. So we don't do micro in-house. So any kind of cultures or anything like that is sent out to them.
Okay.
So.
Well, the needles themselves for even giving shots and drawing blood have changed so much from years ago. Because I got to tell you, when I was a kid and the doc got out the syringe, I'm going, that's a nail spike he's got in it. Actually,
that's why they ran.
Yeah.
And hid.
True story was at the, where J&J Accounting is?
Sure. Yeah.
That was a doctor's office. That's what it was built for. It was small, and you had a little waiting room. And there was a kid about my age that went back, and evidently the doctor got out the shot.
The big needle.
The big needle. and honestly, Sheena, I was sitting there and the kid ran past screaming and ran outside down the street. They had to run him down to catch him.
Right. Poor kid.
One of my favorite questions is how technology has changed things. From when you got started, what are some of the things you've seen change in the lab that are a result of technology?
A lot of interfacing of technology. So the analyzers talk to the computers and vice versa. And it's usually instantaneously done. We have to review them before we finalize a test on the computer before we send it out to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the most advanced portion that I've seen since I've started.
Yeah. Anything else, guys, that we haven't addressed that you want to talk about this morning? Or
Well, yeah, there's one thing, but before we do, as I'm looking now over at Dave, thinking about all the pies that he ate yesterday.
Yeah, it was pot pie day.
Yeah, the pot pie day. How many did you end up with, Dave?
Let's see, I had started with the turkey, chicken, beef, mountain oysters, pot pie. And then I went to a vegetarian with cabbage.
I wish he would have drawn his blood after he did all of that. I would have loved to have seen what the result was.
A little high on the triglycerides, I'm sure.
So that might be, Sheena, for your experiment tonight, Dave might be one that, even though we're not running the blood, just to see if everything's okay. And
I could stop by and you could pull some if you want.
It'd be a little cloudy, yeah.
I think it's fascinating with all the different, maybe this is stretching it a little bit, but there's so much self-anecdotal things these days on the internet, and, every other commercial's about this particular medicine you can take with 25 side effects, and it's confusing out there. But where you're at, your testing tells the real story. Isn't that kind of refreshing today? If somebody is ill and they take a blood sample and you analyze it, it heads everything in the right direction. A lot of the speculation goes away.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're kind of a department that is very precise and accurate when it comes to testing as well. Before we even push patient results out, we have to guarantee that our analyzers are up to par. You know, they have to do system checks and maintenance checks every day. We have to run QC and multiple levels of QC every day just to guarantee that it's running perfectly, and then we can use those, patients out on after that. So we're kind of called the quality assurance department.
That's a good name for it. Yeah, that's excellent. Kyle, Stephanie Watovic is in the pharmacy department. When you had her out here before. Was she gone for a little while recently?
Yes.
Well, I told you, Brent.
Yeah, I know you did.
She was playing for Stanford.
Yeah, playing volleyball.
Yeah.
Dave said I didn't notice it, but I didn't know she had eligibility left. But apparently, according to Dave,
I saw her on TV.
Yeah,
it was her.
Yeah, she still had a year of eligibility that she wanted to use up, so she was.
Well, it's nice that you gave her time off to do that.
Leave of absence to play for Stanford. There's a gal on that team that looks very much like Stephanie, and I told my wife that looks like Stephanie Watovic, and so then I told Brent that she played, and I guess she did.
Yeah, there you go. Anything else?
Yeah, just two quick things. As I think I've spoken a little bit about it in the past, that as we did our strategic plan, of course, we have finalized that strategic plan. And so I just wanted to put it out there for anybody that would like to know more. Out of that strategic plan, we ended up with 4 themes. So from an organizational standpoint, 4 big focus areas, and there's a lot that goes into each one, but I just want to tell everybody what those are. And if anyone has questions or wants to learn more about our strategic plan, I'm definitely more than happy to sit down, meet you wherever you'd like to be, and we can go through what this means and what the strategic plan means for the community. So the 4 themes that we ended up were Melham Team Excellence. So it's a big focus on our internal Melham team, because without it, we couldn't be there. And we just have, as Sheena is testament to, an absolute fantastic team at the organization there. Another theme is enhancing accessible healthcare. We heard that, right? Value throughout, and making sure that we're providing value for everybody from a patient perspective, and our team and community partnerships. So that one's, the theme behind that one is all of us for each of you every time. And so it's a strategic plan that we're taking very seriously. It's a very aggressive strategic plan, but it's going to be a very good strategic plan. The second thing that I wanted to mention is an education that's being provided at the medical center today at 10 a.m. And it's Understanding Medicare and Medicare Advantage. It's provided by the SHIP, and it's an educational session. It's not meant to direct folks one way or the other, but it's definitely important that people come and learn about the differences and what that means for you as we head towards open enrollment, because there are some significant differences in there, and they can impact accessible access to care and the care overall. So please definitely come check that out if you have an opportunity at 10 a.m. today. One last thing, Dave, that's really important. This is a big one. We have another new tub at the hospital.
Oh, my.
Yep. Dave's on the edge of the seat for all of you that could not see. So we had a new tub, and it just wasn't as patient friendly and staff friendly that we needed it to be. And so another one that's just incredibly nice. So anyway, you'll have to come see me, Dave, and see if we can't turn on the bubbles for you.
Oh man, I would love to do that. I would be so happy to test that for you. I really would. And Brent, you can come too.
I'm sorry. The mental picture right now of Dave walking in with his shower cap, scrub brush, and rubber ducky is just quite a mental picture.
Yeah, I'm up for it. I can't wait. Boy, it's been great having you in, Sheena. Thanks a lot.
Yes, thank you.
And I look forward to, sometime maybe we can get together and you can withdraw some blood.
There you go. Sounds
I've got to ask, of all the volunteers that you've seen come through your class since you're teaching it, was I the best?
Of course.
Oh, thanks.
Of course you were.
Thanks. So glad you came in, Sheena.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
Well, you want to when you check his blood, you want to see if there's a dab of humble in there.
Brent, did you volunteer or were you voluntold?
Kind of, I volunteered, but I will say this. One of the reasons I volunteered was nobody else in the family was volunteering for her. And I was kind of feeling bad, and I'm like, I trust Aubrey. I think she'll be all right. And she did a great job.
Did. Yes,
that's great.
Absolutely.
It was great.
So let's see. Do I want to play Young Blood? Blood in the Water? Blood on the Tracks? In the Blood? Spinning Wheel? Blood, Sweat, and Tears? Hot Blooded? Sunday, Bloody Sunday? Or the Young Bloods? What do you...
I like Hot Blooded by Foreigner, personally.
Yeah. Hot Blooded it is, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Foreigner.
$159 value. For your outdoor projects, nothing is as tough as steel. Save $50 on a BGA 57 battery-powered blower kit or the MS250 gas chainsaw. RTA's Hardware at Broken Bow. Open Monday to Friday 7:30 to 6, Saturday 8 to 4, and Sunday 11 to 5.
It takes hard work and determination to build a winning team. It also takes hard work to finish the laundry list of projects around your home. Refresh your space by completing that list with the help of a HELOC from Burning Bank. If an updated look is not enough and you're ready to buy a new home or your dream home, we can help with that too. Navigating a home purchase can be confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let our friendly, experienced staff guide you to owning the home of your dreams. You can apply in person, online at burningbank.com, or give us a call at 308-872-2757 to get you started. Burning Bank, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 473773, member FDIC.
It is 8:51. Brent and Dave with you here on the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. I got some music here.
to show that he might actually be innocent, and therefore he should have a reprieve.
CBS News Brief. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Martin Weiss.
The Cincinnati Bengals now 0-3 after they lose to the Commanders 38-33. Joe Burrow had 3 touchdown passes, but the star of the show, Jaden Daniels, 3 total touchdowns, 21 of 23 passing. The Commanders have now scored on 14 consecutive drives. The Bills are now 3-0 after they beat the Jaguars. They led 34-3 at the half. 47-10 was the final score. Josh Allen had 4 touchdown passes. He added 6 carries for 44 yards. It's been a disaster in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence finished 21 for 38 with 178 yards, a touchdown, and an interception by Damar Hamlin. But they've lost 8 straight starts with Trevor Lawrence as the guy at the helm in Jacksonville. In Major League Baseball, the Phillies clinched the NL East. They beat the Cubs 6-2 today. First time since 2011 that the Phillies have clinched the NL East. Houston could have clinched the AL Central, but it lost to Seattle 6-1, and the Diamondbacks in that NL wildcard race lost to the Giants 6-3.
Here's your weatherology forecast. Daytime highs approaching 74. Today, under mainly clear skies, northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies. Tonight, lows dip down to about 46. Sunshine expected. Tomorrow, high temperatures reach up to 80. Clouds on the increase Thursday into Friday. Low 80s. Thursday, upper 70s by Friday. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki.
9:04, 57 degrees outside now. A lot more sunshine than clouds, and winds remain light and variable. Barometric pressure continues to rise at 29.96, humidity at 76%. By the way, just a trace of precipitation in the rain gauge this morning. A little teeny short shower last night, so we're holding at 0.09 of an inch. You might have seen a drop or two on your windshield this morning. Hopefully, maybe in other parts of our listening area, it lasted longer than that. Now, Brent Apperson.
Yes, Dave Burney.
We have one more live read.
We do.
I think Sylvester's in Broken Bow, Nebraska has more activities going on, so tell us about it.
Yeah, Sylvester's invites you out Friday night for karaoke. Mm-hmm. Thunder Karaoke is back at Sly's, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. this Friday night. Karaoke at Sylvester's in Broken Bow. So going out, be the star, sing your heart out, enjoy karaoke on Friday night, then get a little rest, and then you can come back and watch the Husker game on Saturday at Sylvester's. It's an early kickoff Saturday. Take note of that. The Husker football game will be on Saturday at Sylvester's. Kickoff at 11 Saturday morning with happy hour the first and third quarters. Sylvester's, the quiet little place that rocks. East Highway 2, Broken Bow.
All right, we're going to spend a little time here talking about some events that we've been promoting for quite a while now. And tomorrow is one of those events. Tomorrow, Runza and KCNI Radio are going to throw a little birthday party of our own because Runza's 75 this year. KCNI Radio is 75 this year. The anniversary date for KCNI is actually September 28th. This weekend, but we're going to celebrate ahead of time. And thanks to the folks at Runza, we'll be getting together tomorrow at 3:30 and giving away 75 pig-in-a-blanket meals. Now, that includes a drink, fries, and the pig-in-a-blanket. No charge. So at 3:30, we'll start handing out certificates that you can use when you go through the drive-thru or into the building to get yourself a meal.
And you have to cash it in tomorrow.
Right. Can't carry it with you and bring it back. It won't work. So it's all tomorrow from 3:30 until we're out of meals.
Okay.
Also tomorrow, we'll be having some fun over the noon hour. We'll be going out there and handing out some of our merch, as they call it. I've always hated that word. I don't know why I used it. But anyway,
some swag.
Yeah, I never liked that either. But anyway, it doesn't matter what I like. Hopefully what you'll like is maybe getting lucky enough to get one of those nice 75th anniversary T-shirts that we have been giving away all summer. And we have some 75th anniversary coffee cups that we're going to be giving away to everybody. And I think we're about out of air fresheners, but we've got a few of those left to hand out as well. And so that will be, I don't know, from 11:30 to through the noon hour, 11 to 1 or something like that. It's going to be very loosely planned. We just want to have fun. We're going to try to talk to as many people as we can and give away those items and see how long it takes for people to eat up 75 free meals tomorrow. Probably won't take very long.
May not.
May not. We don't know. It's a little early for the supper hour. But hey, it's our gift to you. So come on out and drive through or walk in. But you'll have to have one of those coupons, and we'll be handing those out. That's tomorrow.
All right.
And tomorrow is also the last day that you can drop off food for the Food for Youth food drive. And we are one of the participating businesses. I think there's, 30?
Yeah, over 30, I believe.
30 businesses where you can drop off your food. I know we all tend to go, I'm going to do that tomorrow, I'm going to do that tomorrow, and tomorrow turns south on you, and so you're going to do that tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day you can do this for this year. You can make a monetary donation as well at the Custer County Foundation. Make your check out through the foundation and note that it's for the Food for Youth, and you can do that as well. I would be surprised if they wouldn't take your money after after tomorrow as well, your donation. But for the food part of it, it's tomorrow. So if you would like to get a little bonus for getting what you've been doing in your brain now for a while, going, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, and you are going to do it tomorrow, come out to the station and drop your food off here if you like. If you want a chance to win $750 cash, or that beautiful Weber grill from Ace Hardware valued at $1,500. Because we wanted to encourage people to bring food out, we've included the people bringing 10 or more items out in the final drawing on Friday for the grill and the $750 cash.
Yes, and wow, just been amazed at the donations that have come in. So thank you, everybody who has participated.
All right. Then on Thursday, we'll be broadcasting a very special program that we have been doing now for a number of years, and that is the Team Jack Radiothon. And that starts at 10 a.m. on Thursday on KCNI and goes till 6 p.m. They allow us some local time, so we'll have, some of our advertisers will be on, and we'll play a little bit of our own music, but most of it will be all live broadcast from the Radiothon Center, which I believe is in Elwood.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think that's where they broadcast
I think that is
from.
where they originated from now.
Yeah. And they'll be having very moving stories about these young children out there fighting brain cancer, and some success stories, and unfortunately some not successful. They'll have special guests who are supporting this effort, and it'll all be on participating radio stations, including KCNI Radio. We've never missed one. We've been with them ever since they started it. And this area does pretty well usually.
Yes.
We have a lot of generous hearts here, and you can listen, and they'll have a number for you to call, and you can make your donations if you feel you want to do that. Nothing forced at all. But the Team Jack Radiothon is Thursday. Then on Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is Junk John.
Yes.
So
yes, Junk Jaunt is this weekend.
Yes. So get ready. Traffic will be increased, and it gets a little crazy out there, but it's only once a year that we get to welcome all these people from all over the country. We've known that they travel a long ways, but until recently, we've been actually going out and talking with some of the people at the fairgrounds in recent years, and they're from Ohio and Florida and Tennessee and all sorts of different places that come in. South Dakota, North Dakota, of course, Kansas, Iowa, Colorado. They just come to the Junk Jaunt and drive the route. And so we'll have that going on this next few days. Probably start seeing traffic even as early as tomorrow. So we kind of want to, get our antennas up for maybe a U-turn that you normally wouldn't see.
Yeah.
So I call it like experiencing, it's like following a deer hunter. If that deer hunter is driving down the road and they see a deer, they will come to a sudden stop.
Yes.
And if an antique seeker is out there and they see something that catches their eye, they will come to a stop.
Yes, they will.
And so just be ready for that.
Yep.
Did I miss anything coming up the next few days?
I don't think so. No, I think we kind of have things covered. We can tell you, I know we went through the high school sports that we'll be covering for you this week, but we got Husker sports coming up this weekend. Of course, the football team is on the road for the first time this year. Go out to play Purdue, and it will be an early kickoff. So we'll have the game for you on KBBN 95.3 FM. Coverage will start with countdown to kickoff at 9 a.m. Saturday, kickoff around 11. And so that'll be on KBBN 95.3 FM. And then Sunday evening, we'll have Husker volleyball. Nebraska takes on USC. That's actually in the evening. Coverage on the network will start at 5:30. Match time is 6:30 on Sunday. Nebraska and USC volleyball. So Husker sports for you this weekend on KBBN.
All right, thank you, Brent. And taking a look at today, the Broken Bow Area Food Pantry will be open from 1 until 3 p.m. today. The Goodwill trailer should be in the Gary's Foods parking lot here in Broken Bow starting today. There's a flu shot clinic in Sargent today at the Housing Authority from 9 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. A blood drive at the Catholic Parish Hall in Cozad today from 10 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. And a blood drive at the Sargent Community Building from 10:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. And Jeremy does note that this is National Punctuation Day today.
Oh, is it?
So punctuate.
Okay. Did you ever really truly learn when to use a comma? I think when I think about punctuation and going through school, that was the one thing that do you use a comma here? Do you not use a comma? I have no clue. I think that was one of the things I've always struggled with punctuation-wise.
I'm with you there, but my wife has been working with me for many years now, and she continues to work with me on punctuation.
Does she?
Yeah, and sentence structure and all that sort of thing. She's about half done.
Yeah, still has a way to go.
Yeah. She better hurry. We'll be right back with Chris Stapleton on the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. No, he's not going to be here, but his music will be.
Napa know-how. They say behind every great man is a great woman. And while that's true, we'll take that a step further and say that behind every great parts store, there's even greater staff and patrons. At WinQuest, you'll find an amazing staff of parts professionals who have well over 100 years of combined experience. You'll also find loyal patrons who know where to find quality parts and excellent service. To our crew and our customers, Dan and I would like to say thank you for making us who we are today. 99 years and 4 generations strong. WinQuest Incorporated, proudly serving you since 1925. East Highway 2, Broken Bow.
Sharpen young minds with the help of Barney Pharmacy in Broken Bow. Toys from Learning Resources help kids challenge their mind while having a fun time.
trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ace Hardware is celebrating 100 years of Helpful, and they want to see you soon at RT Ace Hardware in Broken Bow. Mix and match Ace Premium Spray Paint and Primers, 2 for $10. Rust Stop Spray Paint is 2 for $12. Right now, when you buy select Milwaukee M18 power tools and kits, you get a red lithium XC battery for free, a $159 value. For your outdoor projects, nothing is as tough as steel. Save $50 on a BGA 57 battery-powered blower kit or the MS250 gas chainsaw. RTA's Hardware at Broken Bow, open Monday to Friday 7:30 to 6, Saturday 8 to 4, and Sunday 11 to 5.
It's time to think farm safety.
Every year, farm accidents are caused by untrained workers driving tractors in a dangerous manner. Rollover protective structures are no substitute for thorough training and careful supervision. Good management prevents farm accidents.
Today and every day in 2024, think and practice safety first.
Brought to you by Custer County Feeders of Oconto, wishing all of the farmers who are feeding the world a safe and successful harvest.
9:22. We were talking about the Team Jack Radiothon. We want to thank our sponsors who are making this available to you on Thursday, and they include Custer Federal State Bank, CarQuest, Ideal Realty, the Dairy Queen, A1 Auto in Arnold, Grocery Cart, the Cobblestone, BD, the Callaway District Hospital, along with the Arnold and Callaway Medical Clinics, Mead Lumber, Varney Pharmacy, Bruning Bank, Borders Law, and Tumbleweed Cafe, all major sponsors of the Team Jack Radiothon, which will be on Thursday on KCNI starting at 10 a.m. Now, Brent, I don't often do this, but we have a little extra time today. I just want you to expound on whatever subject you would like to talk about, and I'll allow 3 minutes.
Wow, really?
Yeah, 3 minutes.
You know what? The first thing on my mind, and it won't take 3 minutes.
Okay.
As all of you know, Brent's a big sports fan.
Well, of course. Of course.
His favorite NFL team are the Chicago Bears, and the Bears' offensive line is horrible. That's really about all that's on my mind at the moment. It's kind of weird. Just the other day, I don't know, it was just hitting me. KCNI 75 years. That's really amazing, especially when you think back to 1949 and creating a radio station in this area at that time. I can only imagine what it must have been like, and probably I don't know what types of legalities and everything were in place back then to try to get a radio station up and running, especially in this area. But I think it's an amazing story. I think it's an amazing story that it got started. I think it's an amazing story that it continues. And you can speak to this better than I can. I think we can say KCNI, in a lot of ways, is as strong today as it ever has been in the 75 years of its existence. And it's because of the great people who tune in and listen, and the amazing business support that we get. And just like the Team Jack Radiothon, you just went through, 15, 20 businesses that are sponsoring that locally. And I have the wonderful privilege and honor of going out and doing a lot of high school sports broadcasts. And there are times we have to go on the air 30 minutes, if not more, before an actual game or event starts, just to get through our advertising list. And I think it's a great story. And it's pretty wonderful that it celebrates its 75th anniversary this year.
Well said. You know, it seems like these anniversaries are getting here quicker and quicker. It seemed like we just did the 70th.
Yes.
And we had a little party over at the golf club, over at the club. that wasn't a little party. It got to be kind of a big
Yeah.
party. A lot of people throughout the day. And this time around, we decided, we're just going to kind of celebrate all summer, go to the parades, and have this registration for these prizes that are going to be drawn for. And then, of course, the party at your place was always in the back of my mind, and it's ended up being at Runza, which is perfect because they're also 75.
Yes.
But yeah, you think back, 1949, that wasn't all that long after World War II, and that's kind of how it started. Mr. Crawford was a radio guy in the service, and was a big ham radio operator. And he decided he wanted to start the station here, he and his wife, Georgia. And they went through all the hoops, and I think there was a lot of hoops back then, even with the FCC. Always kind of amazing to me. I have an article somewhere in a file about they were in the process of applying for the license and so forth, and the location, and to get KCNI on the air. KRVN in Lexington didn't know that at the time, and they were actually thinking about putting KRVN here in Broken Bow. When they realized and saw that there was already a process to put one here, they chose Lexington. So, how the chips fall is always interesting in history. And now, honestly, rural radio is here with an FM station, almost 70 years later. But at that time, they decided, we'll go with Lexington and let Broken Bow do its thing. Before the station went on the air, KRGI, which did you work for them? I think.
No, I actually would have worked for KMMJ. Was the Grand Island radio station that I had my first job at back in summer of 90 or 91.
It was one of those two stations in Grand Island. Was one of the first stations on the air. And they would come up and do a Sunday show live here before KCNI went on the air to kind of feed that need for radio at the time. They would do a Sunday afternoon thing, I think, in the building where the parking lot behind Custer Federal is, which was Dayton's auction service.
Really?
They would go upstairs and they would have a dance, and they would broadcast from up there before KCNI got started. KCNI, when it went on the air, it went on the air at 250 watts, and it was not 1280. They had to run temporary for a while at this other frequency at 250 before they got final approval to go to the flaming 1,000 watts that we have today.
Yeah.
And it was a daytimer only, which it still is technically, but they did stretch things out a little bit so that we can stay on the air a little bit longer with the AM signal. But now, with the FM translator that we were able to add a few years ago now, KCNI is on the air 24 hours with a FM translator, which reaches out quite amazingly for the power it's allowed to have. So yeah, the history is amazing, and I remember, since I've lived here forever, junior class play. We came out to KCNI to be on the air to promote our junior class play, and it was the original structure here then, which was it was bare bones. I mean, it was not a fancy place. Let's put it that way. And I remember coming here for that and thinking, man, that's what I want to do someday. Is I want to be on a radio station, and chips fell in my favor, and here I am. But I remember how exciting that was to come out and be on the radio and listen to top tunes on KCNI in the afternoons and Saturday mornings. And the rest of the time, Georgia had what they call block programming, and you would have the Air Force country show and polka show and big band show, and it was all block programming, different kinds of music in blocks. And as teenagers, we couldn't understand why we couldn't have top 40 all the time.
Yeah.
And why would you play polka or country when you have Herman's Hermits to play, you know? It's a great piece of history. AM radio was able to be planted in a lot of communities this size across the country, but not all of them are around anymore because they don't enjoy the support that you described. So, yeah. And I would be amiss if I didn't mention that my mother was one of the first front office employees here, but I think she was here in the very early 50s. They had her going in the back room and pulling music for the DJs. And they were only copyrighted. They only paid for copyright on one of the license royalty companies. So she had to make sure they didn't play music that was off the other royalty company. So it was kind of a job because you couldn't play anything you wanted because they weren't paying for royalties on all labels. So that'd be kind of weird, wouldn't it?
I bet that was an important job though, because if they caught you playing it, I'm guessing fines could
some
have
fines
followed.
Occurred, yeah. And she said, back in the day, she discovered that she was going to have my sister, the firstborn of the family, and so the cigarette smoke everywhere inside of the studios just didn't go real well. So she decided maybe she would retire from the radio side of things because she was going to have my sister Roberta. So
back in the day, sometimes the studio could get a little hazy.
Yeah, it was. I can remember they had big ashtrays, those big, those ones with the tractor tire and the dish in the middle, and they would be just heaped with cigarettes. They'd be drinking pop. They had a refrigerator where the pop was kept, and I had a guy tell me, who was it that worked here? Because we used to have some guests come in when we have our anniversary and be special guests who worked here at one time. And I can't remember which announcer it was, but he remembered when the refrigerator quit working and they had popsicles in the refrigerator. He felt it was his job to eat them as fast as he could before they melted.
There you go.
Hey, we went more than 3 minutes. Imagine that.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We'll be right back to close the show right after these words.
Supporting your favorite team or athlete is super easy and in a custom way when you trust Sandhills Custom Creations with your business. See them for t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, banners, plaques, trophies, cups, and a ton more. Their UV printer is ready to tackle banners, and their brand new laser engraver allows them to do a wide variety of items in-house. Open Monday to Thursday as well as Fridays by appointment. Temporarily closing at 2 on Wednesday, but still available by phone. Sandhills Custom Creations, west side of the square in Broken Bow.
The bakers of Country Hearth and Village Hearth breads are proud to support local education with Loaves for Learning, the program that makes it easy to earn money for your school. Enjoy Country Hearth and Village Hearth all-natural breads, buns, bagels, and more, then save the UPC from the package for your school to collect and redeem. Each is worth 5 cents and can be used for books, computers, sports, music, whatever your school needs, up to $10,000 a year. Learn more at loavesforlearning.com. Country Hearth and Village Hearth breads, baking our best for you.
It's time to think farm safety.
Farmers need to be prepared for a fire, especially if it's many miles to the nearest fire station. Fire extinguishers can save farm property, but only if they have them in the right places and if you keep them properly charged.
Today and every day in 2024, think and practice safety first.
Your friends at Eglin ATV on West Highway 2 in Broken Bow wish you a safe and successful harvest season. Always wear a helmet, never drink and ride.
9:35. One final thought that just we were talking off the air here during the commercial break. My uncle, Dick Yancey, who later was the manager here and part owner, when I was a kid, he was working here for Georgia Crawford. And he used to bring me out here once in a while. I remember helping. He would come out and put snow fence up every fall out here which we should probably still do
Yeah.
to keep from drifting things shut out here. And so I remember helping him put up the snow fence, or at least handing him tools. And then he'd bring me out sometime to meet with the other guys, and they would go out back and with their shotguns and throw 45s up for skeet and shoot records. Can you imagine? Some of the and they didn't probably care for the modern music of the day, so my guess is they probably selected some of the top 40 to shoot.
Yeah,
I don't
some
know.
of the songs they didn't like. Let's go throw this up in the air and have target practice.
Yeah.
Can we bring that back? That sounds like a lot of fun.
We don't have that many. We have our country 45s, but I'd hate to blow them up.
Yeah, I hear you.
Now the other thing that's changed over the years is the last guy here who had the last shift. And it was all live, of course. So in the summer, that would be until 9:15, 9:15, 8, 9, right in there during the summer, longer days. And then in the winter, on December, you closed up shop at 5:15. That's when you went off the air. And so whoever had the last shift, their duty was to dump the trash daily, because you had all the Associated Press or AP paper that rolled out all day. And you took it out and burned it in the burning barrel. The good old burning barrel.
Oh, yes.
Now you can't do that. But that was one of the duties you had as the afternoon or evening DJ is, burn the paper before you go home.
Yeah.
Things have changed a little bit.
A bit.
All right, that's the show for today. Thanks for being patient. Let me try it here. Happy Jack Black White Simpson is over on the other side there with country music for you. I'll finish up this half hour with some great rock. And, well, I hate to transition it that way. Then we'll play 80s after the great rock.
Not just 80s, awesome 80s.
Yeah, awesome 80s. So long.
See ya.